Did you know more than 3.8 million pet dogs in the UK are overweight or obese? PitPat, the UK's #1 dog monitor, have taken the recent trend for fitness and wellness trackers and transferred it to our canine friends. On today's episode, we meet Shogun and owners Michael and Christina to find out how PitPat's been improving their lives. But first, it's a trip to the vets for Helen and her dog Raid.
I'm Rory the vet and I work at the neighbourhood vet in East Dulwich. This little guy is Raid, the 11-month-old border collie. PitPat is an activity monitor that you attach to your dog's collar or harness. It allows you to track their weight, their exercise levels and a number of other things to make sure that your dog is in best health possible. Now Raid here came into me a little bit on the skinny side, so we used a PitPat, we attached it to his collar, we tracked his exercise, we tracked his weight, and now we've brought him back to tip-top shape.
My name's Helen and I own a border collie called Raid. He's now 11 months old. I've had him since he was quite a young puppy. When Rory told me that he thought Raid was underweight, I was a bit concerned because I'd only ever had experience in the past of dogs being overweight, and obviously I worried that it perhaps was my fault for not feeding him enough. So having the PitPat helped me keep a track on his weight to see which way it was going and how much exercise he had done, and possibly if he'd been running free a lot, I knew that I could actually give him more food. It's very easy to use, it's very user-friendly. You just download the app on your phone and you have to put in a few details and then you're ready to go. I think it helps, yes, because obviously sometimes it's difficult to notice if he's just losing a kilo. It's much easier to see it recorded. I think my favourite part is actually seeing how far he runs when you go out. It's actually quite amazing when they're running free, particularly, to see how many miles they actually cover. Having the PitPat and seeing the results has given me confidence to be able to increase his food without worrying about him getting overweight, and also making him a happier dog.
We fell in love with Shogun at first sight, so we were looking around for what sort of dog we wanted. We settled on Shiba Inu for all sorts of reasons that it was right for us, and when we saw the first picture of Shogun, we knew that she was the dog we wanted. I'm Michael and I'm Shogun's dad. The Shiba Inu breed was really important to us. We're young professionals, we live and work in London, and it was the perfect breed for us because of the size of the dog, because of the requirements around exercise, because of how independent they are, and it just all came together and meant that that was the right breed for us.
My name's Christina and our little puppy's called Shogun. She's 8 months old and she's about 60% playful and 40% mischievous. We got a PitPat as soon as we got Shogun and we started using it once she was big enough to wear a collar. We heard about PitPat on social media, so we asked our vet about PitPat, and it was highly advised because as a puppy she actually shouldn't move too much while she's developing her joints and her bones and growing, so we thought it was a great way to keep track of her activity and a really fun way to engage with our dog.
PitPat is an activity monitor for a dog. So the PitPat device sits on Shogun's collar, I've got the app on my phone, and then by pressing the button on the side of PitPat, I can see how much walking she's done, what different activities she's done, how well I'm doing against my target, how well we've done for the week or the month or a 30-day streak or a 60-day streak. And it just really means that we got a really good view into what she's doing when she's with me and what she's doing when she's with a dog sitter or someone else.
So when I first downloaded the app, I put in Shogun's details and then I was good to go. So I can just track her activity and it's broken down by playing, walking, running, sleeping.
And that gave us a really good idea of how much exercise she should be getting. She was exercising a little bit too much when she was really young. Now it's closer to the recommendation, and we found that really happy medium of her getting enough exercise and also making sure that we're not too far away from our PitPat target.
If we've hit Shogun's goals for 3 days in a row, then we get a badge. And we're actually 8 days away from our 30-day streak at the moment, so we'll be getting another badge in 8 days.
When you're living in London and working full-time, and my partner works full-time as well, it means that she's with a dog sitter quite a lot during the day, or we ask friends to look after her. And having the app means that we can see what she's been up to. So if she's been for a long walk during the day, it means that we will then do a short walk later on. It also means we can see how many calories she's burnt during the day, so when we're feeding her later on or when someone else is feeding her during the day, we can make sure she's getting the right amount of food.
Recently, my partner and I went away on holiday, so we got my mum to look after Shogun. While we were abroad for 2 weeks, we could check in on the app, see how much playing and running and activity she's been doing. My mum's a really big walker, so I could see on some days she was actually taking Shogun out far too long and she was getting too much exercise. So I did have to put a little call in and ask her to just leave her at home sometimes because she shouldn't have been over-exercised at that time. I have a few friends who have the PitPat, and it's quite fun to have a bit of competition between us, and so I know which of my friends are the best playmates.
On my Apple Watch I love tracking how much activity I'm doing and working towards achievements. I've also got a couple of friends on there, Andy and Harry, and I get to see how much I'm beating them by on a daily basis. And often she does so much more than me. You know, you think you take her for a walk and she's walked the same as me. No, she's run twice as long and played for 3 times as long, and it's just really great to see all that insight into her behaviour.
Shogun loves going walking. She loves playing with dogs a lot bigger than her. She's quite playful and likes to jump around. She's very agile, so it's good to have a playmate such as a Labrador so she can really go for it.
It's a really small device, it clips on, she just doesn't know it's there. It's also great we don't have to take it off and charge it, it can just stay there, so we basically forget about it.
Well, that's it from me and some of London's most successful game changers. Don't forget to get in touch if you know someone who's making it big in London. I'll see you next time.